Hey guys, Crypto Vatsik here. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and also give me a follow on Twitter at Crypto Vatsik. Nothing of what you're about to see is considered financial advice. These are my opinions only. All right, so just getting into it, I thought I would just provide a quick update on some altcoins in this video and just go through just a few different coins, just kind of go through my thought process on what we're seeing. I mean, a lot of them are so similar right now that you can apply a lot of analysis to most coins, in a general sense. But I think just going through a few of them, in some lower time frames could be beneficial, and just kind of talk about what we're seeing at the moment. So, I mean, right now we've got Ethereum on Bitstamp here. And just overall, just looking at this, it's such a significant move down that I can definitely see why a lot of people think that we're in a bear market, and if they don't believe that this is just a continuation or a retrace within the bull market, then they think that this is going to be a long-term bear market that's going to take us likely into 2023. So I mean, if that's the case, you could look at Ethereum and say, okay, this is kind of the first major break of the 200-week moving average. We did see a break up here with a little bit of relief until pretty much a complete collapse. And so if you just go back in time and you look at the previous bull market that collapsed, same thing. We broke below the 200-week moving average quite steeply, had some relief, and then obviously took quite some time to get back up to these levels. But I think if we're comparing it to this time, I'd compare it to basically being somewhere in this area at this point. I mean, you can just look overall, how significant it is. And I think that, in the coming weeks or so, we'll see some relief for sure. And then we'll have to reevaluate at that point if we're coming back down further and going to make new lows and an extended bear market, or if it is just a temporary retrace and kind of an unforeseen or unprecedented event that won't last very long once investors get confidence back, and we continue up after this. We'll have to see, right? It's nobody knows that for sure. So right now we just have to look at what's in front of us. So zooming in on the 4 hour, we're finally starting to see the moving averages starting to tighten up a little bit, or at least price closing in on that gap. When we start breaking down and you create the large gap between the moving averages, it's a strong move. So it's likely that it's not going to flip this right away and head back up, but that's what you want to start seeing. Is you want to start seeing it flatten out and starting to exhaust the selling pressure and start to flatten out and get closer to these moving averages, and kind of go through a period of accumulation before eventually recovering and heading the other direction. So it kind of applies both directions, but that's just that's something that you would like to see. I think that it's one of those things where you could take a short-term trade and potentially wait for a flip of the moving average or of this high here, and then enter a long position and then come up to the resistance. So if you're looking for an entry somewhere around here, you'd be targeting the upper resistance level somewhere up here, and have a stop loss, your invalidation point somewhere below that new support, which was previous resistance, right? So if this is kind of your resistance right here, you'd be looking, at least I'd be looking to enter on a break of this resistance and a flip of the EMA, either the EMA 200 or 100. I mean, we've broken the 100 at this point. There's other moving averages, the 50 and the 20 exponential moving averages that you can use as well, that I just have turned off right now. But let's see, I could turn those on just for reference. So these are a bit more lower time frame kind of EMAs that I don't tend to use a lot, but I like to keep the 100 and the 200 on. So anyways, you'd be looking to enter, break of this resistance somewhere in here. You get an entry and have your invalidation point. Wherever you're comfortable with, somewhere below that, less it's less ideal to enter in here. I'd prefer to get in somewhere a bit lower. So if you could get one more low and then kind of come back up and then have a retest, I'd be ideally getting in somewhere around down here at a low, and then just you have a bit of a nicer stop limit. Right, it's probably somewhere around there. And then same target, you'd still be going up to this resistance as your target. It'd be a short-term play that you could take. There's definitely potential to make money in these short-term plays. When markets kind of start to die down like this and you see less volatility, I'm less interested in doing these kinds of trades. I'm more interested in looking for the future and starting to accumulate. So that's kind of just my thoughts right now. I mean, like I said, you could take a short-term play on this, but until we really see this start to really create a base, I'm not so confident, that we've for sure bottomed. I mean, definitely for now, this is our macro bottom, and it's confirmed here with the retest as support, and it didn't come below it. So, temporarily, yes, I could see some relief happening, but it's important to keep in mind that this could hover around the moving averages and fail and break down, and then get a sharp decline again, and then we just continue on the same pattern, right? So you want to be careful with these moves, and keep an eye on volume as well. We see spikes in volume, which is it's a good thing. Even if you see a spike in volume that leads to a sharp move downwards, I mean, it's why you have your stop losses, so you can cut your losses and get out quickly. But it is a good thing, in my opinion, to see that, because it means that at least there's some movement, there's some decision making in the price, and we should see a bottom form and some sort of stability form after that. So that's what I like to see, even if it's against your trade, seeing some volume. At least it makes a decision, in my opinion. So, it's boring when it just hovers and it's low volume and low volatility, and just does that for days on end, and it's not exciting. But you see some volume, you see a sharp drop, then at least okay, here's your macro bottom. You can play some trades from that price structure. But when it's doing something like this, it takes time, and so I think patience is needed during these times, right? And they take longer than people expect, I think. So next, I think I'll just pull up the Polkadot chart. It's another coin that during the previous run up, I was quite interested in it, and they were doing a lot of stuff on the ecosystem with their parachains, and they're building on it. So I was bullish on it, and I was trading an investor in it as well, but it's just had this complete collapse. I mean, not unlike most of the coins, but it's failed in its promises, so to speak, with respect to price. So it's what are we at here? 90% or so drop, which again is similar across the market, but pretty terrible if you're an investor. I mean, if you got in any time after 2020, you're likely down on your investments. So tough to see, but I think that I will probably be accumulating this coin for the next run up, and it's just a matter of making sure that you're not getting impatient and you're not jumping the gun, and you can see we really just had this steady decline here. So I don't see this just all of a sudden just V reversing up, right? I see this is going to take time. You come down and markets need to stabilize, moving averages need to reset, and you need to get some some confidence back in the market. And then you start to see these little blips or little pumps, and then maybe they come back down, and then again, kind of thing. And this is that accumulation, that stability, where you find that bottom, and then you can start to get that strength back before the next run up. Here's another one, Gala. Very similar setup. It's very similar structure here. It's tough, right? You get down to these levels here, and you think, oh my God, it's so low, maybe, or maybe you're just risk adverse and you're just not touching anything. But you got to play both sides, right? You got to handle your risk, but you got to understand that these are the areas that you want to start considering getting long. If you're an investor, if you're a trader, be cautious. They're kind of unpredictable times right now. We don't really know what the economy is going to do if we're going into a recession. This could play out a lot longer, and as you get down to these prices, the percentage drops increase a lot more, right? So you start to get down here, and though it may not look like much, you start dropping. It might look like it's hit rock bottom here, but it can go to zero. So you start getting down to these levels, a little bit of a drop in these prices is significant. So if you're trading it, you got to be careful. And if you're an investor, you got to be really willing to ride the volatility, or ride these dips and ride the drawdowns, right? So if you believe in something, then go for it. Just manage your risk and understand that you might not be buying the bottom, even though it's very close, or it looks to be very close. These are why these are such high risk, high reward plays, is because this is getting to the point where it's maximum financial opportunity, where you're buying at a coin at maybe the most major generational bottom that it could see for a very, very long time. So you could see when the coin got listed here on Binance, it shot up here obviously on the opening, and then it had this long period of accumulation that took forever, and you kind of get these little blips here and there, like I was talking about earlier. And then eventually you get your impulse and SR flip and then expansion. So this is what I'm looking for, is these long accumulation plays on many altcoins where it just kind of flatlines and it's boring, and people get sick of it, and that's where I'll be adding to long-term positions. This is just an example, Gala, but not necessarily going to be investing in this one, but I have been trading it in recent months. So this is CRV. Curve Finance. I like this one a lot. I think it had a lot of potential as well, and still does have potential. I think they just had a bunch of coins that got unlocked recently, and which was really nice to see that it actually didn't have a major sell-off. It actually had a nice little pump here. So we're coming up to resistance. It's at the move, EMA 200 as resistance. It's coming into these areas here of previous wicks that will or should act as resistance. But it's nice to see some strength back here, and it's nice to see it starting to not just completely die out and flatline, but actually you've seen some bounces and you're seeing some strength, and it's nice when you start to get to these levels and you see it kind of start showing a little bit of strength, kind of thing. And that's I think long term that's a good sign when you see these coins even in bear markets that are relatively speaking doing well, right? So there's definitely coins that people will be accumulating during this bear market that have strong fundamentals. Go back to what you believe in, go back to what had strong fundamentals, and nothing major has changed fundamentally. So again, just another good example. I think with Curve Finance, it's a good one. Didn't think we would see these lower prices so soon, but I think this is just huge opportunity to basically get a second chance if you didn't achieve what you wanted in the first run. Okay, that's it for now, everyone. Just a quick update. Hopefully you found it helpful, and please, if you like the video, please support the channel, and we'll see you on the next one.